You're watching Oilers Nation every day with Heather Yaremchuk.
I honestly don't even know what I'm doing.
Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Jim Hiller, you fool. And fool's the nice word I'm using. Let's get into it with the lead. Out of fear that one day I may see him in person or something, I'm going to hold back a little bit. But I think the LA Kings coach might have cost them this series.
Last night?
Just generally.
Well, it's not the first time.
There you go. Welcome into Oilers Nation Every Day. We are live from the Sports Closet studio. From jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger. You'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet. We are also a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. I don't even know what I'm doing. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know the people heard that. I guess they did.
Well, at least it wasn't that bad. They didn't hear what we said before that.
Now you might have heard me say the bad word about Jim Hiller. God damn. Yeah, Vasily Podcast. First off, YouTube chat brought to you by Nation Beer and Odd Company Brewing. Nation Beer Everyday Lager, a crisp, clean lager crafted not just for game day, but for any day. But I'll be honest, maybe not today for me because I think I had 40 of them last night.
You sound like me.
Yeah, man. And like I did okay this morning. I did the DFO rundown and I did a radio interview in Vancouver and DFO Live. Held strong for those three. Driving in, I had a phone call and I was like, oh, my voice is going. But that's what the playoffs are all about, Liam.
That's what we're here for, folks. A Sunday night, late one, to say the least. It was terrible, exciting, exhilarating, pissed me off. It was everything you wanted. It was everything the Edmonton Oilers have given me my entire fandom.
It's honestly a little bit of what we talked about on Thursday or Friday, whatever day when they were down 2-0, when we were just like, listen, this team makes no sense. They have there have been how many periods? 3, 6, 12, 13 if you count overtime. They have been substantially the worst team for 10 of those 13 periods. Third period of game one.
Yeah, 4, 5, whatever. Yeah, they've been very bad.
Yeah, like bad. Like just based on the merit of this series, if you took out every clip where there was a goal and just showed me every other part of this series, sweep. They're done. They are gone home. Cancun, Cabo, whatever, pack the shit up. Mm-hmm. The fact that this is 2-2 and they've played this poorly and the LA Kings have done what the LA Kings have done is just mind-blowing to me. Anyways, we got a lot to get to today, obviously, because there were two very, very exciting hockey games. I also want to give some love to Ravina, who dropped in a $140 super chat for the Ben Stelter Foundation. Ravina said, my YouTube froze, Ben, LFG, no funny business, all in. Absolutely, Ravina. I love it. I want
to give some love to the post-game chat because we raised over $1,000 for the Ben Stelter Foundation last night. All it took, a couple oil dubs, baby.
Yeah, man, just crazy. Louie de Brusk is going to join us, like basically right off the jump. He should be here any minute. We're going to talk to Louie about everything that went down this weekend, but I don't know. Let's do like a mini scoring summary, I guess, Liam, for our friends at Charm Diamond Centers. Charm Diamond Centers, where you can get a custom ring built and delivered in less than 4 weeks with the Charm Masterpiece program. It all comes with their unbeatable pricing policy. Check them out online, charmdiamondcenters.com. So let's go back to Friday. The Oilers get up 2-0 in this series. And again, we don't need to play every goal, but they're up 2-0. And I'm sitting there thinking, perfect, like my prediction's coming true. They're going to roll them tonight. And this building's rocking and the Oilers are back in the series. And then, again, because nothing makes sense, the Oilers just gifted them that comeback. Like, again, I have, at least through 3 games, and this was true in game 3, I think, I didn't feel like the LA Kings were pushing all that much. I felt like they were just sitting back and waiting for the Oilers to make mistakes like they did in game 1 and like they did in game 2. And I just felt like in game 3, the Oilers... The Kings didn't push that hard. It was Edmonton just coughing up that lead. The 2 power play goals, like it was sloppy.
Yeah, and they actually did a really good job on the penalty kill until those. It was basically the only chances they really gave up on them. And like Unfortunate for Pickard too, I think, because if I'm remembering correctly, both of them were slightly deflected, but they were still given too much time to take those shots.
Yeah.
That's on the defense, but not on the goaltending in my eyes. So, yeah, it was an eventful game Friday, as much as last night was too. The Friday one was pretty much the same. In weird ways. The Oilers just came back a little sooner and managed to finish it off in regulation.
So when Connor Brown scores, and this is, I think, a great example of, again, just gifting the LA Kings way too many opportunities. Connor Brown scores, 17-19 mark of the second period. I'm at the game. I pull out my phone. I'm like, I got a banger tweet. I type out, where were you when Connor Brown saved the season? Before I can even hit send, Trevor Moore gives the Kings the lead back because Jake Wallman couldn't play him off the rush. Like, again, it's just like it seemed like they couldn't get out of their own way. Vibes were at just an all-time low in that building. That second intermission, when I was walking around the concourse, there was no hooting, there was no hollering. It felt like a crowd that was like, and this was my view, like halfway through that third period, I was like, damn it, Friday night, and we're going to have to watch them go down 3-0. And then Evander Kane jams one in on the side of the net. And it's not just that. You want to talk about getting a break. In the building, they weren't showing a ton of replays. So I have a great view because, as you guys know, I sit in this corner. I had a great view of this, and I'm going, the ref didn't make a signal. I turn to my old man, I'm like, why did the ref not make a signal? Like, what did we miss? And then you hear they review it for a kick. It's like, whatever. And then LA calls the timeout, and then LA's challenging. And I'm like, okay, well, if they called the timeout to think this whole thing over and then still decided to challenge, they must know for sure that they have the Oilers pinned on something. And then when they came and said they're challenging for goalie interference, it's just like, what? And I'm sitting there, I'm texting Amber back at home because I'm like, what's the broadcast showing us? Because surely the broadcast is showing us, like, what do we see here?
Yeah.
It ends up just biting the Kings right in the ass. Jim Hiller changed this series with this challenge, and I know that there's a system and there's a video review guy and an assistant coach with a headset, blah, 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 blah. The buck stops with the head coach. You can't challenge that goal.
No, I don't. I didn't really understand the rationale around it. Do we have an overhead view at all, Aaron? If we can get that, like, I mean, sure. Like when the initial chaos begins, like the automatic assumption is like, oh, there could be some contact on camera.
Yeah,
He's just like sprawled out, everything. But like, I don't really know where they were looking too much. Like there was some people tweeting out yesterday. It was like more like like he wasn't able to move his stick or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but it was just like, they didn't seem like there certainly wasn't a kick. No. He kicked it onto his stick, of course, and then knocked it in. But other than that, it just seemed like a wild, wild challenge. I mean, at that point, too, the Oilers' power play obviously hadn't done too much in the series, but I know they had one earlier in the game, but your chance would be that, hey, maybe the penalty kill can just help us get through this again, but like, that is not what happened. No. Is this an overhead? Okay, so yeah, like, obviously there's chaos there, and like, Kemper was given time to adjust into where he was, I guess you could say. Like, he's obviously not going to be able to stand up there because he's putting himself in that position.
But like, even if you think Kane makes contact, Anze Kopitar, he's wearing Anze Kopitar like a backpack.
Yeah.
Like, where did you want him to go?
That's true as well. Yeah, I never even thought about that. But also, the contact, to me, is clearly made after the puck is in the net.
Yeah. That's just...
Like, because at first I thought, oh, did he knock it right out of his glove there? But then the puck's not even close. And, yeah, I mean, maybe the feet. But, again, like, it was called a goal. And it was called a goal pretty quickly. I just don't see this one. There's been crazy challenges in this series so far, crazy non-challenges also in this series, which we'll have to get to. But then, yeah, of course, 10 seconds later. This is a play I have never seen the Oilers make.
Oh, and it's
never.
Just, and I love that they just pedal to the effing floor.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Like, don't dig around getting set up or whatever.
No way.
What an adequate way or an intelligent way for me to say that. But, like, no screwing around. Just go score. Okay. You said Louie's here? All right, let's do it. Our weekly hit with Louie DeBrusk is brought to you by Litco Law. Do you think you might need a personal injury lawyer, but you're not sure and you don't know where to start? Litco Law has been helping injured Edmontonians for over 50 years. They pride themselves on being lawyers you'll love. Friendly, approachable, they actually care. And you can always get a hold of them when you need them. Don't take my word for it. Go to litcolaw.com, find out for yourself. Every consult is free, so what do you have to lose? Go to litcolaw.com. Louie DeBrusk was on the broadcast for these last two games. And Louie, I want to start, before we talk about the challenges and all of that, home ice advantage is a real thing. You can hear my voice. I was yelling like an idiot last night. But home ice advantage is a real thing. And if you don't believe it, these last two games are a great example of it.
There, I was going to say, anything exciting happened in the last week?
Yeah,
It's been a pretty crazy week, hasn't it? Stanley Cup playoffs. But I agree with you, Ty. Number one, I just think that each and every year it seems like that building gets louder and louder. It really does. I think the fans just get so pumped up for these games. I couldn't believe it. I stood on the bench before the game as they were starting to serenade the Oilers before they came out, and it was just so loud in the building. And you know what? That's an advantage. It's a true advantage. It really is. It's a hard place to play for the opposition. It's noisy in there. It's hard to communicate on the benches. And you can just tell that the players get pumped up from that noise in the building. And we let it ride. You know, when they score a goal or something big happens and the fans are going crazy, in any respective building for that matter, but we just kind of let it go. Excuse me. I was screaming into my headset too, so I'm losing my voice a little bit because you can barely hear yourself. You can't hear yourself talk because it's that loud in the building. But fantastic atmosphere, just an incredible atmosphere. I was emotionally drained myself just calling the game. I can't even imagine what the players felt like after that game because it was yet another comeback and yet another dramatic finish in this series.
I'm curious, like, obviously you have a great vantage point of it being between the benches. Like, what does the Kings bench look like if you ever have a glimpse of it when it's just so loud in there? Like, does it really interfere with what they're doing, you think, when they're on the bench? Maybe for the younger guys, I suppose?
It does a little bit. You know, so I've been told this first and last games, you know, I was between for their first series. That building was roughly like maddening how loud it was, and they're similar to last night and similar to game number 3. And the thing is, the coaches would tell me, and Ryan McGill, who I played with on the coaching staff at that time, to talk to the players, excuse me, during the play. Because if we don't tell them what we want to tell them during the play, once the intermission comes and the commercials come, it's just so rocking and loud in there with the music and the sound and the speakers, you can't hear. You're screaming at each other on the bench. So they try and get it in during the play. So it does distract you a little bit. The thing I noticed, and the Los Angeles Kings team, when I would always look over, right? I always take a look at an account of each bench when something happens, and I'm kind of like, what's going on in each bench here respectively? And quite frankly, all they can do when that happens is just, you know, be quiet. To get back to playing. Calm demeanor. Came out really strong in the series, but I saw a lot of deflation. I just saw it's like, oh, here we go again. This is going to be a grind. This is going to be a series. This is going to be hard because they know this. This is an Edmonton team that's getting stronger every game. And I do think that the LA Kings were the ones with the chip on their shoulder coming to this series, rightfully so, losing 3-0. They were hungry, had a chip on their shoulder, and wanted to prove they've been better and they can beat the Edmonton Oilers. And the Oilers, there was a lot of question marks around this team coming into the playoffs. Going to be 100% healthy. What's the lineup to be? And as each game has gone, you've seen them start to get on to that game that we saw last year in the playoffs. And for the last few years, just the way they can buckle down in the intense moment, they can focus, extreme focus. But I think there was a chip on Edmonton's shoulder too. People were picking them as the underdogs in the series. They didn't like that too much. You're starting to see them come full force now. But yeah, it does have an effect. To answer your question, like a long-winded answer, yeah, it's deafening on that bench, and you got to just weather it and settle in because you know it's going to be loud.
Louie, we're just going to have you reset your browser maybe, and then we'll get back to Louie in 2 seconds. We're having a bit of a connection issue, so we'll let Louie reset really, really quick here. Louie DeBrusk brought to you by our friends over at Litco Law, but I love that perspective too, just being able to look over at the bench like that. And I mean, there has to be a little bit, and let me know when Louie resets and kicks in. There has to be a little bit of it right now for the LA Kings where it's that like, oh shit, here we go again. Like, yeah. How are we not up in this series playing the way that we have? So, yeah, I mean.
I think a very interesting angle of this now, too, is to start the series, the conversation was so strong on Edmonton of being like, they only have 4 defensemen. They only have so many forwards. In that overtime period, they rolled every single forward played in that overtime.
For the
Oilers. Every single one played. Defenseman, I think the only one that didn't play was Emberson. But he's been great on the penalty kill. He's playing a role on this team. The Kings cannot ice a full roster currently because they just simply don't believe in their players to do a job.
Yeah, it's interesting. Still nothing back from Louie. All right, we'll get reconnected with Louie in a couple of seconds. Oh, he's back. Perfect stuff. All right, Louie DeBrusk is back. Sorry, Louie, we just had a low connection thing there. I wanted to talk about that Jim Hiller challenge. I'm not sure how you felt about it. To me, I felt like even if you think if you're 80% sure that it's goalie interference, like giving the Oilers that power play, I just felt like there was a massive risk and a mistake for Jim Hiller to make.
Yeah, he took a gamble and it backfired on him. And I don't know if you can hear me now. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's good now. We got you.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. You know what? I'm just at the airport here, so a little the coverage maybe not the best out here by the airport. But listen, he said, listen, we have a system. We went through it. We looked at it. We felt it was interference, trying to protect your goaltender, trying to stop the team from rolling like the Edmonton Oilers were, trying to tie that game. I think he saw it coming. It backfired. Sometimes they go, sometimes they. We saw in Game 4 the Fogle goal on Pickard, where he speared into the pad and pushed him right around, pretty much sent him 90 to 100 degrees in a spin by hitting the pad in the blue paint, and no challenge from Chris Knoblauch. And I know Pickard wasn't happy about that. His facial expressions couldn't be denied what he was thinking at that time. He thought he was interfered, but they chose not to. I think there's a lot going on. Each and every moment that we see these challenges not called or called these interference calls and goalie interference. I think what's happened, though, and I'm going to say it, I don't care because I'm the one that's got to say it live, and I screw them up all the time. I don't think anybody really knows what is interference and what isn't anymore. It can go either way. It truly can. It depends on what you see, and you're looking at it quickly, and you're trying to make a decision. And then when you watch it the fourth time, now the only thing that I saw in that review, I did see contact, no question. That's the one I was talking about on Pickard. He gets spun around. Now you can say, okay, it's a follow through. I know Elliott talked about it on the panel, and he explained that earlier in the year there was one that did count. This is a little different for me because he's going from forehand to backhand. He's trying to bring that forehand to backhand around. That pulls off the stick. He's no longer, he just speared right into it. It's not like he has the puck on his stick there. It was a quick move, and I don't think you expect Pickard to be right there at the time. And then that follow through with the stick, it was a pretty hard shove. Anyway, I thought it should be challenged. Obviously, it worked out for Edmonton. It was a great non-challenge by Chris Knoblauch, and the team really rallied and was able to win that hockey game. There's a lot of stuff happening. Pickard wasn't happy after that one. But on the LA challenge, when I first started to watch the replays, I'm like, I'm not seeing anything that's telling me this is goalie interference. I'm just not seeing it. And then the other thing, too, was at the last minute I started to see the right leg of Kane. That was what I said at the end. I was like, he does kind of move that leg, and there's no way that Kemper can move at all once that leg is in there. So once that play goes back around the net, now you made a good point, Ty, and I made it as well. Kopitar is bulldozing him in there, and he doesn't let him. I like what you said. He's wearing him as a backpack. He's got a Kopitar backpack on. That's a big backpack. But you know what? Sometimes they go your way, sometimes they don't. And the only thing you can do is take it, understand that it didn't go your way, and move forward. And, unfortunately for the Kings, though, that was the catalyst to spark them a power play goal very shortly afterwards by Evan Bouchard. And the Oilers never really looked back from that. But listen, this is going to be a grind of a series. It's already had exciting ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster ride, and I expect the last 3 games, if it goes 7, it's going to go 6 for sure. But if it goes 7, it's going to be a roller coaster ride.
The overtime yesterday, Louis, I don't remember the last time I saw the Oilers absolutely dominate, period, the way they did. It was unbelievable. Every single player who came over, and they used every single player, and I think that's what helped them win the game yesterday, is they were just able to roll all 4 lines, and I think Ty Emerson was maybe the only defenseman that didn't play in overtime, but the Kings, like they were saying, you guys were saying on the broadcast, Gavrikov and Edmondson were just exhausted. What did you make of the overtime? It just seemed like the Oilers were never going to be denied. But actually, Kemper denied them a ton.
Yeah,
but eventually they figured it out.
I think it was one of the best overtimes I've seen them play. They were hungry. This was it. They need to come back. They need to not want to go back to Los Angeles, a place where they've had such great success throughout the season, down 3-1 in the series. That gives them 2 chances at home to finish off the series. and 3 in a row to finish off the series. It's a recipe for disaster. They were the more hungry team. And I know a lot of people talk about the Los Angeles Kings sitting back. I don't know what they're supposed to do there. When you have a team pressing as hard as the Edmonton Oilers were pressing, what are you supposed to do? You're trying with that storm. But it's pretty hard to be good at ratcheting it up. That was one of the best sequences I've seen them play. And it was everybody. Buddy was determined to chip, charge, get a puck in deep, drive it into the zone, work it to the net. This team with their backs were against the wall. Not easy to dial in and have that focus, execute in that pressure situation. If well for that, the third period and overtime for me was a dominating performance by the Edmonton Oilers. It was dominating. They had a game plan, they executed, and kept fantastic saves. But in the end, Leon Draisaitl, which is easy to believe, his first ever overtime game-winning goal in the playoffs, because the guy scores at will, it seems, with a huge goal to tie the series. And it was a great performance. And I think from that experience from last year going to the final, the experience of 6 years in the playoffs, I just think this team understands and knows how to buckle down in critical moments. They execute and make plays. You can do, but they also ratcheted up the physicality. They were behind in hits after 2 periods. They were behind in shots after 2 periods. The final period in 18 or whatever, that overtime goal, they dominated in both hits and shots. Big difference.
We got one in the chat here. I think it's maybe a great spot to go to next is, listen, the Oilers are going to have to find a way to beat the Kings in LA if they're going to win this series. So what do you need to see from the Oilers game in Game 5 and potentially a Game 7 that maybe you didn't see in Games 1 and 2 in LA? What do they need to bring to get a road win?
I really think that you look at the heavy minutes the top 4 defensemen the Los Angeles Kings are playing right now, you have to think it's going to start to take a toll. They're not small men. They're big guys. But big guys can be hit too. And I think Edmonton started to figure that out. You're starting to see Frederick get his feet going. He's starting to get on the body. Andrew Kane provides that element. He's starting to get on the body. Podkolzin, in not a lot of ice time, had 7 hits in the game. That is absolutely critical. Have to wear and tear down the opposition. That's what they're trying to do here. And believe they can do it with their depth. So the top 9 of LA, there's no question they play more than the top 9 collectively. When you go to the 4, the production you're getting now from guys where he gets bumped up, he plays more. He played 20 minutes in that Game 4. Had another great game. But for Chris Knobloch, he's done a great job at just kind of elevating guys that are going, settling guys in, giving that shift at the right time to get them out there, get their feet going. You start to look down the depth in the spread. Number 4. Evan Bouchard, 36, almost 37 minutes. Just incredible. And he was fantastic, by the way. In the big moments, that kid steps up. You just can't deny that. I know he's a very polarizing figure here in Edmonton. When the game's on the line and you need a play to happen, that is the player you want on the ice. Nobody can. He's done it. So he stepped up in a big way, but that's what they have to do. Big moments, they've got to step up, they've got to push the Los Angeles Kings. The forecheck for me is key. If you allow this Los Angeles team to get out of the zone cleanly, attack aggressively. They have to defend, that's where you're going to get your chance, and you're going to have to work for the The other thing is, too, they're going to have conscience high in the spot, because it seems when they spend time in the offensive zone, the Los Kings are finding outnumbered rushes back up the ice. They've done it all series, and they're really good. And Edmonton has almost gotten bit a few times. They almost got bit 2 outnumbers in the first shift of the game in game number 4. Need to clean that up. Let's go in. It's a different story.
Louie, safe travels down to LA. Enjoy Game 5. And that win last night also guarantees that there will be a 6th game back in Edmonton, which is very exciting. Enjoy the hockey.
I will, guys. All right, take care. Enjoy yourselves, too.
So, yeah.
There you go. There's Louie DeBrusk, brought to you by Litcola. He's also brought to you by our new friends at Garage Superstore. Garage upgrades and accessories made easy. They've got everything you need to organize, transform, and maximize your space. 6 full-size garages. Walk through real setups at their showroom down 3407 Calgary Trail, Northwest and South Edmonton, or go online. You can shop online, garagesuperstore.ca. Vehicle hoist, storage racks, storage solutions, Traeger grills, outdoor living. Come on, they can do it all. Garage Superstore, premier built garages. I think Jim Hiller is getting insanely outcoached in this series.
Yeah,
that game
he's just not adjusting. I think that's the biggest part of coaching that can just be such a flaw to people. Like we saw it with Jay Woodcroft 3 years ago. Like he refused to adjust the goaltending. Mm-hmm. We've seen Knobloch doing back-to-back playoffs.
Yep.
You know, and it's really worked for them. And even the line changes. I know people don't like the jumbling lines, but I also do appreciate that Knobloch's just not sat in his hands being like, well, hopefully they can figure it out. As I know, put your guys in like positions to succeed. And you can't just play like you need to play Jordan Spence or whoever the other guy was. Well, like just play him in moments. Give him ozone stars. How bad can they be?
Jordan Spence was so good last year.
I thought he was solid. We watched him in LA and we were like, damn, I guess that's pretty good.
Okay, so fourth line for the Oilers, Podkolzin, Janmark, and Arvidsson. That trio played a combined 20, 32, 32-50, we'll call it. Okay? So 32-50. Emberson played 837, so now that's up to 40, and the Oilers' other defenseman would have been Wallman, I guess. So the Oilers' bottom 2 defensemen in ice time and bottom 3 forwards in ice time played 55 minutes, 56 minutes. Last night. Okay?
So collectively, a full game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. The Kings' bottom 3 forwards and bottom 2 defensemen, Hellenius, Malott, and Lewis, played a combined, we'll even be nice to Hellenius, so that's 4.5, 9 minutes. They played 9 minutes, and the 2 defensemen played 14:25. The Oilers' bottom players contributed 56 minutes of ice time. The Kings' bottom players contributed 20.
They're essentially cheerleaders.
And that's like...
basically. You know?
The Oilers don't make the Stanley Cup final... The Oilers don't make the Stanley Cup final last year if Mattias Janmark doesn't score some big goals, if Connor Brown doesn't get hot for a couple of stretches, all of that stuff, right? Like, I mean, Brett Kulak didn't play as big of a role last year, but he still played a big role in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, this year, Brett Kulak is the most time on ice at 5-5 for the Oilers.
I don't understand it. I really, really don't understand it.
I just think, I think it was Tyler who put it in the chat. You're not coaching to win the Stanley Cup. Like, you can't go 4 rounds with 9 forwards and 4
He very clearly is going game by game trying to beat the Edmonton Oilers on any given night, which some would say is like the right approach. But no, it's not. It's not.
Like, you obviously have to play your schedule. You have to play to beat the opponent right in front of you.
Yeah.
But you do have to play the long game. Like, if you get to the next round and you play Vegas, Minnesota, whoever it is,
they're getting rolled.
You can't do that. Like, it's just not the way to win.
Yeah. Joel Edmondson played 36-16 last night, got outshot 27-16. Mikey Anderson, 34-13, was on the ice for 4 goals against.
Mikey Anderson.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse boy.
Wow.
Boy, Mickey. I want to get to, there's a couple of really interesting things here, just because it's kind of along the lines of what we're talking about. Also, the apologies for the Louie connection. He'd get better as his answer went on, which is why we asked him a couple more questions.
So the Oilers.
Pretty much like the Oilers. But we'll hopefully reconnect Louie again a little bit later on, maybe even this week. Maybe we'll bug Louie.
That would be lovely.
Double dip. That'd be fun. Let's get to, I want to do some sound in the room for our friends over at Tourism Jasper. Tourism Jasper this summer, find your happy place in Jasper. From hiking trails, paddling wild waters, or sharing laughs by the fire, happiness finds you here. So drive over, play outside, soak up the fresh air, enjoy some food and drink, and maybe even stay up late. Plan your trip, jasper.travel/summer. Can we play Jim Hiller after the game, going at it with the reporter?
Jim, how do you change your approach in the third period to better close out games?
How do I change it? Next question, please. We're that far away on the empty net. Q chips that one out. Bouchard makes a good play. We're not even talking about this. So how about that?
Sentiment in the room was that the first 40 minutes.
That's your favorite question too, by the way. Maybe you got some ideas for me.
Okay.
It's happened 3. You probably didn't hear it. At the end of the question, the reporter goes, well, it's happened 3 times.
Fair question, Jim.
Super fair question to ask. I mean, he hasn't changed, and Close is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades. And that game you like to play in the summer.
Bannock,
yeah.
But Close is not good in
No,
Bannock.
not good in-
No, you
oh.
need to be precise. Shit takes precision. Anyways, okay, Jim, I'm going to run you through a couple of things here really quick. First off, when your team blows 3 third-period leads in a series, you cannot say next question. Because to me, that shows you have a fundamental misunderstanding of how this series is playing out. The way your team plays in the third period is not good enough. How are you going from being the better team by a country mile for 40 minutes every single game to being outplayed in the third period basically every single time? If Arvidsson doesn't eat shit and turn over a puck, they might have blown game 2. If you want to play the what-if game of, we missed the open net by this much, if Quentin Byfield gets the puck out and Bouchard doesn't make that play, here's a fun what-if for you. What if Phil Deneau doesn't fan on the puck with 8 or 50 seconds left in game 1? Your ass is down 3-1, Jim. Let's play that what-if game.
Potentially a sweep.
If I was a Kings fan, I would be losing my shit with this guy. He's not playing his fourth line. He's not adjusting at all. In fact, he is adjusting, but he's adjusting in a dumb way.
If I'm remembering correctly, and maybe Reese can do some digging for me here, I feel like in previous years, the fourth line almost played too much, if I'm remembering, for the Kings.
Yeah.
I do seem to remember something about that. I do remember making fun of Carl Grundstrom last year, though. He did not play very much. He was there to be a cheerleader.
That's a good point.
If I'm remembering correctly, like, they would do it, and I know it obviously didn't work for them, but still, like, you have to have guys involved. Like, look at Podkolzin yesterday. In overtime, he was wheeling. I know he got maybe hemmed in a little bit that line on one, but like taking some shots, being physical, winning, like getting ozone draws, which for a fourth line to do that in overtime, I thought was amazing work for them just to get the guys back out there after like a good energy shift. We'll say Arvidsson, slap shot from the blue line that didn't get off the ice, probably wasn't deemed necessary in that moment. But you got a shot away. That helps some shot props out there, as Aaron told me before the show. But you know, like, you need these guys. They do become very important for you. And for Jim Hiller to sit there and be like, what do you want me to do? It was like when Ken Holland had that quote about Duncan Keith, who actually turned out to be a decent Oiler for that year. But he's like, what do you want me to do? Go get him for free?
It's like, yeah, Ken, that's literally how cap dumps work.
Yeah, essentially, yes, we did want that. And it just shows a little bit of inexperience to me from Jim Hiller. And hey, like, not to be a downer, they could adjust him, win 2 more games, and win the series. Like, it's not over by any means. And the first 2 games would also prove that they do know how to beat the Oilers when their system is working. But you also have to play to win that night. Yep. And I just don't think they did enough.
Yeah. And Mulek, what's the saying about ifs and buts? Yeah, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, then every day would be Christmas. Wow. And guess what, Jim? It's fucking April 28th. It's not Christmas.
Election day.
Election day. Go vote. Yeah. Don't care who you vote for as long as you vote. Liam, I'm so disappointed you aren't voting.
Yeah, I'm against it. I send in sending in my vote to the Great Britain.
You can vote there.
I can vote. That's the only place I can vote.
So Jim, like, if you take anything away from the first 33 minutes of the show, it's that I think Jim Hiller is a buffoon. And I think he is actively costing his team chances to win this series, which I love because last night was amazing. And Friday night was amazing. And this whole series has just been an insane roller coaster because the Oilers are just doing a wonderful job exposing the Kings' flaws. And then the Kings are just doing a wonderful job exposing the Oilers' flaws. And the result is just a volcano of insanity.
It's been a really fun series. Like, when you kind of step back and look at it, like minus game 2, which sucked. It's been entertaining. These last 2 games obviously like boosted morale a bit in the city. Like, I genuinely believe those 2 games being on the weekend, the Oilers could not have asked for much more.
Oh, yeah. Perfect
like the
schedule.
Friday and even like the Friday game.
And those crowds are drunk.
Oh, yeah.
You see how many fights were on Yegwave?
I did.
Oilers fans got to stop fighting Oilers fans, okay?
Fight in spirit.
I almost fought a guy last night.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
That guy was weird, though.
All right, we're no better.
What was I going to say? My favorite part from game 3 was fans actually, and I didn't see this in LA, and I know the crowd was actually good, I thought, for the most part. Probably shouldn't say refs you suck when you're on the power play. That's a bit of a weird one.
Yep.
But people like literally the whole ball, lower ball, standing up. Kemper.
So
that
good.
is awesome. The Bouchard goal, the Oilers always put it out there, don't they, with Jack's call, but then they do the kind of like lower ice angle of it. And then seeing like the entire lower ball stood up, thought that was awesome. It was just great. There was something else in game 3 that really stood out to me. Let me have
I can't tell if you're doing a bit.
No, this is real life, folks. I can't remember.
Okay.
Come back to
That's
me.
all right.
My recollection
that was it. I switched my jersey midway through the third period.
Okay.
And that proved to be a turning point.
What'd you wear yesterday?
So, I'll tell you. So I had my signed Dustin Penner jersey on to start the game on Friday because I had ran through my Devon Shore game 1, didn't work. Evander Kane game 2, didn't work. I only have 2 jerseys left, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go with, I think it's a 2009 Dustin Penner, something like that.
Okay.
Old blue one.
Yeah, the pajama jersey.
Yeah. Halfway through the third period, I'm like, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. Remember on Friday we were talking about like you can have an impact off the ice. So I switched to my Orange Crush Leon Draisaitl
Sick.
jersey. Barely fits anymore. I've grown a bit since I was 14. But put it on. Next thing you know, Kane, Bouchard, Oilers win. Yesterday, I know what you're thinking. What did I do? Didn't wear a jersey. Till midway through the third period, I put my jersey on.
Oh, yeah.
Bang. Oilers win. It was epic.
So
There you go. You're welcome.
Someone in the chat said, Tyler, are you saying it's okay to fight someone if you think they're weird? No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just not going to get into the story.
Yeah.
What else do I want? Oh, Leon Draisaitl on Corey Perry to wrap up our sound in the room.
I honestly feel like he could play till he's 50, just because of his brain, and we'll see if the boots, keep up there. But but I mean, he's just he's just a gamer. He just knows how to play the game.
21 minutes for Corey Perry last night for the Edmonton
played
Oilers.
21 minutes?
Season high for Corey Perry. They goddamn almost killed the old man.
Oh, that is
2018, scores a goal, +1, 4 shots, 4 hits. Oh, he's just beautiful. He's beautiful. And here's the thing I like about Perry. When I'm wrong about something, usually my mentions are pretty consistently filled up with people telling me how wrong I was. No one does that with Perry because no one saw this coming. Like, this dude couldn't play in the playoffs last year. They were healthy scratching him almost all the time.
He had 3 points in the playoffs last year. He already has 3 points now.
Yeah.
2 huge goals as well for the Oilers. What more could you ask for? Like, I will own up to that one. But like you said, no one thought this was coming.
This goal is so sick.
Yeah, this is a veteran goal.
Boots might slow down, hands never slow down.
And I don't think his boots have ever been good.
That's
to be honest. But
like, what a goal. And then the Selly, too. That's a young man Selly, Corey.
Yeah, you hurt your elbows if you keep doing that one. This was, a great goal by Perry. The other thing I was thinking about yesterday, actually, because I mentioned it, Kuzmenko has just left the building. He has become these 2 games, he was
Are you
so
telling me Andre
irrelevant.
Kuzmenko's inconsistent?
I know. Who would have thought? But, like, my goodness, anyone would have thought he had won the Conn Smythe in those first 2 games. And don't get me wrong, he was a huge factor and made a big difference. But I believe he was -3 in game 1, and it was saying on the broadcast yesterday, he only played 3 shifts in the third period, and I don't think he played in overtime.
It's crazy.
That is honestly, that's bad.
He's a power play specialist.
He is, and he's good at it.
Yeah.
He's very good at it. But I think he's crazy to do that. Like Kuzmenko is banged up. Maybe half the Oilers team's banged up. Zach Hyman, I'm pretty sure, is still pretty hurt. Draisaitl,
12 hits last night for Zach Hyman.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy. I can't believe Kuzmenko.
Look at Bo. Kuzmenko?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Corey Perry. So good.
Now.
But just back to this series and this Oilers team making no sense. Pretty much every moment where you're like, they got momentum. They just piss it away instantly.
Yeah.
Like, you talk Connor Brown goal, they score right after. You sit there and you're like, okay, boom, Corey Perry, it's 2-1. Here we go. And they get hemmed in for 6 minutes after that goal. It was awful hockey. Awful hockey. So, again, the Oilers still have a lot of things they need to improve on. But, the fact that they are in this series at the level in which they're playing is just insane to me. Like that, it gives me so much confidence. And you want to talk about like, well, what do they have to do to go win one on the road? Listen, maybe I'm not good enough at the tactical, or I know I'm not good enough at like the tactical breakdowns to be like, this is what they need to adjust or whatever. I just think mentally, as much as momentum doesn't carry over from game to game, and I know that, I think mentally and physically, like we talked about, this Kings team is just going to be drained. Like they're going to be so vulnerable. I think if you get up on them early again in game 5, they might just be totally crushed.
Yeah, and when we were talking about it with Louie, people were saying in the chat, like, they just have to play the way they did in overtime to win the game in LA. It's like,
that's hard.
That is a difficult thing to do. Like when you went out there in overtime, it is like you have the momentum from Bouchard's goal. And then obviously like you're at home, you have the crowd in it. Like everyone is all on your side. To go and try and play that way on the road for 60 minutes, you're asking a lot. You obviously want a level of intensity the way it was, but like, did LA have maybe one good chance in overtime, if I remember? Maybe two. Like, it just never felt like they were going to do it.
Barely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
Ice
the
was
Oilers
tilted.
came out, and like, even, we haven't even mentioned him. Thought Trent Frederick played a pretty decent overtime.
Yeah.
That second line of Kane, Nugent, Hyman.
It's great.
Unreal. And it gave you the opportunity to play Draisaitl and McDavid together, who obviously got the job done. But that was a full team effort, and that for me is what they need. Team effort. It has to be a full contribution, and these past 2 games have shown it to me. You've got scoring from tons and tons of different players, and it's fantastic.
I agree. Also, Louie did text me and apologized for...
Louie.
Louie's
You give
the
us so much.
Yeah, Louie, come on.
I'll take Louie on any amount of service.
Yeah.
I'll take him whenever.
He's still great. McDavid, Draisaitl, Perry, man, their stat lines are so funny. 10:42 time on ice for those 3. Outshot the Kings 10-4. 100% ozone starts. Only starting that. I just love that. That's just Chris Knobloch's old reliable pitch now. It's like, who do we got an ozone draw? Out you go.
Send him
boys.
out there. It's awesome.
A couple of other things. Do we have like the video with Jack's call?
Yeah, so it's a comparison of the TNT call first.
Yeah.
And then Jack.
That's great. So let's play this, and I got to take after.
Ryan Nugent Hopkins is there. Pass down low, redirect, and kick the rebound, score! Draisaitl! The comeback Oilers do it again, and this series is tied up at 2.
Nugent Hopkins, McDavid redirects in front, stand up, Draisaitl scores! Series tied, Edmonton 4, LA 3, in overtime.
5 seconds.
So, actually, I'll make this my one big take for our friends at Service Credit Union. You only got a couple days left in the Service Big Share contest. By the way, it's your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Anyone can enter by becoming a member and saving with Service. Every $500 saved gives you 5 entries into the Service Big Share contest. It ends on April 30th. Skill test required for rules. Visit service.ca/win. You can transfer over your savings as well. So still time to get plenty of entries in on the Service Big Share contest. Like, TNT deserves to be dragged for everything they're doing in these playoffs because it's embarrassing, honestly. You want to be a rights holder, you got to act like a rights holder. And them coming out and saying games in small Canadian markets are too expensive to produce.
Did they say that?
You know those guys aren't in Edmonton, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know they're in Atlanta.
They're calling it off a studio monitor in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
And TNT says that to get their trucks and pay for their crew to go to small Canadian markets, it's too expensive. So for the Ottawa series and the Edmonton series, they're traveling to Toronto and then they aren't going to Ottawa, which is also just the most insane thing ever. Or they didn't have those first 2 games, whatever it is. But I don't even think I think Steve Sears is the play-by-play guy or something like that. Colby Armstrong's on the color, who I like. It's not even their fault. Calling a game when you're not in the arena is such a difficult thing to do. And Jack and Louie are dynamite. So comparing anyone to Jack and Louie, I feel, is like putting them in an unfair spot.
Yeah.
But TNT is putting their guys in an unfair spot. And Isaac says that the audio mix is awful with TNT because no one's in the building, right?
So does Colby go down to Atlanta? Or does he stay at his
I think
place?
he goes to Atlanta.
Okay. So at least those two
I think they're
together,
the same
that
room.
would be insane if they were not in the same room.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I actually didn't know that they would go into just like Edmonton and Ottawa. I thought they were just like not going anywhere. Because my take on it was gonna be that like they have to get out there at least. But now I'm completely against it. I didn't know they were only not going to these two markets. And also, too, like, why would you not want to come to Edmonton or Ottawa? I think they're obviously both fantastic hockey markets. I'd say that's better than half the ones that are in the South anyway.
The Battle of Ontario and Oilers Kings.
But also,
it's about growing the game. And the energy that Jack is able to get, and Louie, because of the energy that is in Rogers Place. And I'm sure it's the same for the other one. Admittedly, I've not watched a second of any other game. That's something that TNT should embrace and bring into it. Because their in-game panel, their intermission panel, obviously the best. And we all wish that was kind of our panel to see the jokes and all that stuff. They really get the best out of the players. But yeah, the broadcast itself, it's unfortunate for the actual broadcaster, the commentator and the caller, because they're not there. And I'm sure they would love to be. It'd be great to have Colby up here for a few days.
I was texting Amel and it was like, dude, Colby's in town. Like, let's absolutely get him on the show. And it's like, no, he's not in town. He's in Atlanta.
Yeah. NHL just wants hockey in Atlanta so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can't go. We need you guys
again, if you're TNT, if you don't want to be a rights holder, don't be a rights holder.
Yeah. Because ESPN's doing it too, right?
Also, they pay their panelists. Those panelists get millions of dollars to work like a couple days a week. Like, don't tell me you don't have the money when you can pay those guys millions. Like, it's crazy.
It's just disappointing because they've shown the ability to take the game to a different level in the way they talk about the hockey. And I think they could do it with their broadcast too, but whatever. I got Jack and Louie every other night. I'm fine with that.
I love having Jack and Louie on the call, even though I was at each of the last two games.
Yeah. Do you know what? Sorry, I always thought it would be interesting. He's sitting right in front of him, right in front of Jack.
Oh, yeah?
Like a game. Like, I wonder what that would be like. Let me know if you've ever done that before. Like, being around him, like, just because obviously when you're at the game, you just hear the crowd. But like, actually hearing the commentary, I think that'd be pretty interesting.
I remember I used to do play-by-play for the Edmonton Prospects. And like, obviously, exciting. I'm doing it to get my reps in.
Yeah.
Young broadcasters, you take every opportunity very seriously. You want to have a good call to get some tape together. And I remember doing a game, and there was like, again, it was the Edmonton Prospects. There was like maybe 200 people there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of rainy. I'm calling the game, and something big happened. Someone hit a double, and I'm like, double the gap, and the crowd's loving it. And the guy sitting in front of the broadcast window turned around to me and goes, "There's no one here. What are you talking about?" And like, you could hear it clear as day on the broadcast. I was like, dude, shut up.
Disgruntled fan.
Yeah.
What's that? Never mind. Go on.
I told you about this, but I'll tell the story on air. So my buddy John is a big Oilers fan, obviously. And he's never been to a playoff game. Doesn't have a ticket hookup, whatever. I mean, it's actually pretty normal. I think that most people don't spend hundreds of dollars to go to these hockey games. So I picked him up. We went golfing on Saturday. And first thing I told him, I was like, buddy, I'm getting you so drunk today that you're going to agree to buy tickets with me for game 6. And he kind of like laughed and was like, whatever. And sure shit, 12:22 p.m., just after midnight, I'm like, buddy, $260. I was like, I made like a plea to him. I said, I even cooked him a steak. I cooked him a steak after our round of golf. Wow. I really wined and dined him. I was like, there's going to be a point, John, in 10 years where the Oilers will probably suck again. And Connor McDavid is retired and the glory days are behind us. And I said, you are going to sit there and go, man, I wish I would have experienced a playoff game at Rogers Place and saw Connor McDavid in his prime playing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And he said, that's good enough for me. So we went to the game last night, his first ever playoff game. And like going there with someone who's never been there, like the atmosphere is just like out of this world. Yeah. But it was very funny how after the second period, we're like sitting there getting another beer and it's like, we got rally doubles. So we maybe saved the day.
Okay.
Also, shout out to listener Corey. Didn't get his last name, but I hugged him and he bought me me and my crew around a drink. So shout out to Corey. You're a great guy.
I'm there, Corey. Give me a hug.
Yeah. Hey, there's a nice picture of ours. No, that's John. Oh. There's Skirky. But anyway, so we went to the game last night. After the second period, we're sitting there when that picture was actually taken, and we're like, this sucks. And he's like, this was a waste of money. I'm like, absolutely. They tie the game up, and he's like, this is the best day of my life. Oh, my God. It was unbelievable. So if you can, get out to a game. Because it really, playoff hockey at Rogers Place is unbelievable. Our crowd, we've been to a bunch of buildings.
Yeah.
Our crowd kicks every other crowd's ass. Building's so good, except for like maybe Montreal.
I was going to say, not to give him flowers, but Vancouver got some energy. That was a good one. Florida, it was a cup final. It's a bit different, I think. Dallas, I didn't feel it. LA, we didn't give them anything to cheer about, but they scored 1 goal in 2 games.
Yep.
So that was nice. I've been to 3 home playoff games. Game 7, obviously.
A couple years ago,
We went to game 5 with all those kids.
Oh, yeah. That was wild.
And then I went to Game 6 of Vegas, and then they lost with Christopher Palmer.
And that's why you won't go to a game where the Oilers are facing elimination anymore, because every playoff game you've been to ends with handshakes.
Yeah. So I can't do it to this fan base.
But if they're up 3-2, hashtag get Liam in the building.
Oh, man. If someone can, yeah. Sure. Yes.
If
anyone wants to take me to Game 6, I'm in. As long as the Oilers are up 3-2.
I'm tapped out financially for the series.
Yeah. I haven't gone yet. I'm tapped out financially.
But if they're up 3-2, we got to find a way to get you in the building. All right, what else do we got in here? We did have a super chat from Mistaken Mexican, $10. It is amazing sitting underneath them, but he had season seats below them years ago. Wasn't Jack, but it was awesome having the play-by-play when it would go quiet. Duran dropped in a super chat. Thank you. Loved how McDavid beelined right for Pickard after the winner. Didn't go to the scrum. Went right at Pickles. Belief. I think there's something to that. I think this team loves playing for Calvin Pickard.
Yeah, I think they really like him too. I think Draisaitl said something about him too, didn't he, earlier?
A couple of weeks ago or a month ago, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, what a turnaround Pickard has had, you know, just in these last couple of years for him. Like, he was signed to be the Oilers' third-string goalie.
Supposed to be living in Baco.
Yeah, we all talk about how Skinner's been thrusted into a position that he's not supposed to be in. Well, Pickard is more or less the same, if not more of the same, but he's done really well, and trust me, he scares the shit out of me. Every time I watch him play, he is the craziest goalie ever. He's road hockey. But he gets the job done more often than not. And in the playoffs, I said this the other day, I couldn't care less what my goalie save percentage is. I don't care how many goals they let in. Did the Oilers win?
Yeah.
That's what matters. And he helps them win. Also, the Oilers have not lost since I turned 29.
Undefeated in your 29 era. Leon Draisaitl, 29, OT winner.
Oh my God, my Draisaitl shirt's number 29. That is fucking crazy.
If you whisper like that, the people can't really hear the show.
Can you guys hear
the audio levels still look pretty good. Okay, so everyone can still hear ASMR. This is way better for my voice. It's not nearly as taxing on me. Let's get to a Sherwood Ford Giant question. Shout out to our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant. Free Nation Valet service for you, Nation citizens. Never visit the dealership again for your car service. Just add in Nation Valet in the comments, and not only will you be entered into our monthly draws, but you'll also get an exclusive Nation swag pack. Nation citizens, your hockey destination and your vehicle destination is Sherwood Ford the Giant. Everyone said the whispering isn't that bad, actually. So you guys have no idea how hard I'm struggling to get through the show. And I still have to do real life later on today.
Naeem said he's going to try and get me a ticket for Thursday.
Let's go, Naeem. Let's get it going.
Honestly, I want to put something out there too. I would go on my own.
Just by yourself.
I would. I would totally would. 100%. I couldn't care less.
Have you ever done a sporting event solo? I've done one.
I feel like I mean, I do them. This is obviously not the same, but like when I go to like crew games, I sit on my own.
Yeah.
On like a bunch of stuff. Like I think I've gone to Oil Kings games on my own before, like stuff like that. But never,
that's
I
like
guess,
work.
pro level of it, I suppose. Yeah.
Have you, Aaron?
I've never gone alone, but I just want to say, Liam, that'd be the most on-brand thing for you. You watch the games in Greta alone. You go play games alone. You leave the bar alone, Irish exit.
Yeah.
That's the least surprising thing you've ever said to me.
When
I've never gone alone, but I would.
Yeah, I think I would too. Well, especially in our spot where like when I walk the concourse at Rogers, I'll find friends anywhere. There's always someone being like, Tyler, what's up?
Someone will talk oil with you.
Yeah.
I was in Red Deer this weekend at the Alberta Cup.
Yeah.
If any of your sons played in that one, congratulations to them. It was an awesome weekend. I was walking by with like the scouting staff, and this guy points at me, middle of the crowd. Oilersnation. It's like, God damn it. Red
Liam,
Deer, of all places.
Can you please go to the game with Naeem?
Yeah.
I think that would be...
I'd go.
It'd be a dynamic duo.
We could talk about goaltending the whole time. I would.
Naeem literally says, I'll get you a single ticket.
I think, yeah.
Only if they're up 3-2.
Yeah, if they're losing, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Have any of us met Naeem?
No. I'm sure he's great. I never met Christopher Palmer before I went with him, or McMullet. I went with those guys.
Fair.
Yeah. I remember once I went to watch Spider-Man just before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And none of my friends wanted to go. And it was opening night. I was like, I'm going on my own. I had the best seat in the house. Right in the middle, single seat. Cinema was sold. Went on my own. It was the best.
And the movie, you don't talk to anyone.
No.
Like, that feels like the most you could go alone.
It's the best.
Mainlander Tim, Liam walked the concourse asking strangers to buy you a beer like Tyler apparently does. No, so this guy, it's actually a very funny story with Corey. So he was standing like right behind me and my buddy Skirk in line, and he tapped my buddy Skirk on the shoulder and just showed him my Twitter and was like, is this him? And my buddy's here, he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh my God, Tyler. He like straight up gave me a hug. And then he was like, I'm buying your round. And I'm like, it is expensive, man. Like, don't worry about it. You don't have to do that. And he was like, no, I'm buying you around. It's like, all right. Also, crazy thing last night, I tweeted it, and shout out to Wit for giving me the quote tweet bump on it because it's got like 400,000 impressions now. They do the donair gun at Rogers Place, right? So they seal up these donairs in like plastic packaging and they fire them into the crowd. Boom, gone. They fired one yesterday that just instantly, it went into the air and the packaging.
Oh no.
Dude, did you not see my tweet?
No, I'm trying to find it.
It just, as soon as it hit the air, it just blew up. So I saw it like out of the corner of my eye because it was right below me. And like, all I saw was like the packaging go and then like tortilla or whatever, like
Pita,
the pita and the meat and the lettuce was just like in the air. And I was like, what is going on right now? It was one of the craziest things ever.
That is awesome.
It was so good, man.
Yeah.
Did anybody get free donairs, or you just pick up the lettuce that falls on you and keep cheering?
Open your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. It was a crazy game last night. Crazy hot game. Okay, we were doing the short for giant question. We didn't get there.
What was it?
Okay, rapid fire style. Who's your starter in game 5?
Pickard.
No doubt in my mind. I cannot believe people are even asking us this question. It's Cal's net. It's Cal's crease till it's not. Mm-hmm. And like Reese, our intern or employee, Jesus, he made a really great point. He said, you're in a good spot. You start Pickard in game 5. Don't feed Stuart Skinner back to that Kings crowd, because I think that would not be a wise thing to do, to give them that to rally around. I don't think Kings fans are smart enough to realize how to chant Pickard either. So there's that. But like, if Pickard plays bad, then you just have Stu in game 6 and you go back to your guy just like you did against Vancouver and you say, Stu, save the series. Mm-hmm. If Pickard plays well, you come home and it's still Pickard's net. So I think you're in a good spot. You got to go Pickard no matter what, I think. It can't be a question. Pink Pony Club, apparently the team's new in locker room win song. Your thoughts?
Love that song. I actually listen to it a lot.
Pink Pony
It's such
Club.
a good hit.
I listened to it 3 times consecutively on my drive home from Greta last night.
I didn't know who Chappell Roan was. I think that's how you say her name.
Chappelle Rowan, but keep going.
Mrs. Roan. Until the music awards thing, the Grammys.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she performed, and you remember she was like, "Okay, everybody," and then the whole crowd like sang in like perfect harmony.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." It's like, well, it is the Grammys.
All the people are
yeah, they're all
professional
the best
musicians.
singers in the world. Yep. So that makes sense. I believe she has a song called "Hot to Go."
HOTTOGO. Don't know the rest.
I
think that's it. I think that's all that is.
Might be the whole
Hot
song.
to Go. I think HOTTOTO. Something.
HOTTOGO.
I didn't know that was her until last night when I put on Pink Pony Club and the next song came up. But yeah, she's good. I like the song. I think it's good that they keep it in a locker room. And like, look, La Bamba.
That's our thing.
It's a hit. Everyone loves it. We all know the meaning about it.
Los Lobos is coming to town.
Then there's a good in-arena vibe. You can't expect the guys to go in the room and be like, well, let's play La Bamba. It's like, no, let's play our hits.
Play the hits. Frank was confused by it, and he was like, I read through the lyrics being like, is there something in there? There is a line in the chorus, Pink Pony Club, I'm going to keep on dancing at the Pink Pony Club, I'm going to keep on dancing down in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's not something about like, get the vibes going down in Hollywood. Keep dancing. Maybe. Keep the dance going down in Hollywood.
They could have done Party in the USA, though.
They could have done Party in the USA. Hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream and my cardigan, I think.
They could all take cardigans. Now, that would be
you nailed
crazy.
that. No, you nailed that.
Yeah, that's good.
I
knew I did.
If there's pictures of this plane ride that they're all getting on right now, and they're all showing up in cardigans, I'm going to freak the fuck out.
Do it, boys. If anyone is watching, do it.
Louie, tell him. He's probably still behind.
Louie.
Backstage.
I'll text him. Louie, is anyone on the plane wearing a cardigan?
Oh, that would be crazy.
That'd be a great bit. That'd be a great bit. We should tell Tony to do that. Tony would definitely be up for a good bit with us.
Tony probably does wear a cardigan.
He probably does. No, he's always got like the fancy suits on.
He does.
Classic Tony.
handsome boy.
He's a handsome, and he does the pregame hype videos at Rogers Place.
Yeah. Those are sick.
Yeah,
like credit to him because he
gets the people going.
He is. He gets dialed in on that. Tony is a great man.
Tony's great.
Shout out Nate TV Broadcasting.
And also too, like I'll say this, and I mean this in. Well, I don't really think it can be taken in a negative way. Fearless.
He is.
In the sense of like he will do whatever it takes to kind of push himself over the top. And he does, and he's done it for as long as I've known him. He's the best. No. Ravina, if you're listening, let him know I said that.
Yeah, Ravina, if you're listening, just be like, maybe shoot him a note. Be like, hey, Oilersnation Everyday guys, we're talking really nice of you. Maybe
please wear a cardigan next game.
Wear on the cardigan coming off the plane. Maybe you can come on the show. No, Oilers would never let Tony come on our show.
No.
Anywho, yeah, what a run Nate Radio and TV had for those 2 years, hey? They churned out Tony,
Brendan,
me, you,
Escott, Aaron.
A couple years earlier, though.
Hey.
Well, you kicked it off.
Yeah, there you go.
That was a real momentum turner for the program.
There's someone else, I think, who's in Edmonton sports media.
Gazzola was. Hernan was.
Yeah, Hernan was migrant.
I mean, you can go down the list. I mean,
Reese.
Good job, Reese.
Was.
Yeah. Was. I don't have Waz's face up on the wall, though.
That's
there.
a trend off the last few years.
Yeah. All right, Brett's in the chat. Clears throat. Brett was in the class. Brett was, you know what, Brett? Hand up. That's on me. Yeah. You were in their class.
Sorry, Brett. You're a good man.
Yep.
Last minute global.
Excuse me. Oh, man, that's so funny.
Sergeant Battle is in the program right now.
He is in the program right now. The radio TV program. All right.
Yeah.
Where's Josh Park? Sitting up in a suit up at Rogers Place.
Yeah.
Being another director.
Another alumni.
Yeah, another star.
There's some summer content. We'll go through all the former Nate TV grads.
Yeah.
Where are they now?
Where are
in
they
Edmonton. Now? It's actually like when you're in that program, they really, it's going to sound bad. They really tell you can't work in a big city.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we just decided I will.
Yeah, I took my internship at 1260. I remember there was a conversation I had with someone who was like, hey, man, like, you're not going to get on airtime. Like, go to a small town. And I was like, I am not, no disrespect to this place. I am not going to Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
I'm going to not do that.
I went to Lloydminster. Look where I am now. I'm back.
Yeah, you're right back in the big city.
Yeah. Our friend Travis, Prince Albert, was on the Indigenous radio up there because he was the only one that wanted to do it. He now lives in Scotland.
Travis is in Scotland
Not
now.
on the radio.
Not on the radio, hey? Okay, let's continue along.
Good program.
I mean, we do kind of have to start wrapping this thing up right away, but we got a couple more segments we need to knock off the list today, including the menu, which is brought to you by the Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 Portable Glass Air Fryer.
Meet the Ninja Crispy Portable Cooking System. The power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hand.
The Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 Portable Glass Air Fryer is thermal shock resistant and can go from frozen to crispy in just minutes. With the Crispy Power Pod, you get the power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hands. The 4-quart container fits 4 pounds of chicken or veggies, and you can cook a personal-sized meal in 7 minutes in the 6-cup container. Max Crisp, bake, air fry, re-crisp, prep, cook, store anything from crispy favorites to one-dish meals. You can do it all with the Ninja Crispy. Visit their website in the link in the description and stay tuned for a chance to win a free Ninja Crispy for one of our viewers. The menu tonight, just 2 games for the NHL in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which is crazy.
Tampa,
Florida,
and Colorado must be Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas, Colorado. I can't get a read on either of those series, honestly.
Well, I don't
the
think
road
they could
teams keep winning.
Ottawa and Toronto because I wonder if the election had anything to do with it, that they pushed it back one more day.
You think Mark Carney said no playoff hockey in Canada today?
I would assume. And that's why you should vote.
For whoever you want, because we don't care. Tampa, Florida, I can't get a good read on. Road teams won every game in that series. Colorado, Dallas, I think the road teams won.
No.
No. They've split each one.
I still think Colorado has to come out of the series, no?
I don't see a world where they lose. But again, I thought they were just going to run through them.
Yeah.
Like, I thought this thing would be over in 5 games.
The New Jersey Devils pulled one out over the weekend. They're still cooked. I know they lost again in game 4. So Good for them to get one, I suppose.
cooked.
But
They're cooked.
wow, 0% on the power play after 4 games. That's kind of nuts.
Are you actually not allowed sports games on election?
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
what everyone
you
in the
are.
chat's saying.
I don't.
Yeah, the
think you
Jays
are.
don't even play tonight.
Which I think is
What the hell am I going to do tonight?
it's a good. It should be the election should be respected.
Don't people can have 2 TVs.
What if they don't? It's just supposed to be like you have no excuse to not go out and vote. I think. I don't know.
There were
Probably
advanced
wrong,
polls.
I'm assuming. Yeah, there was. Which makes
do you guys
election
vote
day
today?
weird.
I'll go vote. Yeah. On my drive home.
I'll post about it on Twitter.
There you go. That's your menu for tonight in the NHL. Tampa, Florida, Colorado, Dallas. Tomorrow, back to a 4-game slate. Toronto, Ottawa, Jersey, Carolina, Mini Vegas, Edmonton, and LA. So tomorrow is another game day edition of the show, which is a good time for me to remind you that all of our playoff coverage here at Oilers Nation is brought to you by Boston Pizza. This year, we bring it home. Why not? Why not? I love the Boston Pizza. Inspired by the famous line, if you build it, they will come. If we plan it, we will win.
Hooray.
Think about the parade. Think about what you're going to do if they move past the LA Kings. If you believe it could happen, shout out to our friends at Boston Pizza. We're going to be doing something with them, I think, on Wednesday. They're going to bring some wings in.
Yeah.
Are you a hot wings guy?
No.
Oh, no, I'm really not either.
I am very.
You are? Okay, good.
I'm very
Reese? Yeah, okay,
Reese said he
not like
loves
them.
him.
Yeah, Reese said he'll
All
love
in
them.
his family.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
No, I heard him say that. No, I also heard him say that.
Because we love Boston Pizza.
More than our family.
More than our families. I could go for some yam fries since Davin. Their yam fries are very good. Outside of the playoffs, Penguins fire Mike Sullivan.
Fire seems like a harsh term, but
Penguins.
the reality of it is, yes, he was fired. I think this was one where it was actually like mutually agreed.
I think he was probably sitting there a little bit being like, ooh, the Rangers and the Bruins. He's a shoo-in. He's going to get one of those 2 jobs.
Where would you go?
If I were him and I had to
3,
pick,
2, 1, Bruins.
New York.
Bruins.
New York.
Bruins.
MSG, baby.
Our timing was a little off there.
Yeah, you don't tell us anything. I think I would go to Boston. They're both like kind of the same.
You guys can't be asking people where they live in the chat. Come on. That's so weird.
Yeah, come on.
That's so weird, you guys. Don't do that. You're in timeout. You're done.
Wow, that's a big. Don't do. That's a huge one.
He's done for the show. 30 minutes, no more. You can't be asking.
Well, to be fair, they do that to Matthias on a nightly basis too. Be like, hey, you've played 10 minutes. What more do you
no
want?
more.
Sorry, Matthias, come back tomorrow. Thanks for your contribution.
Yeah, you can't be asking people where they live in the chat. If there's anything that I don't know any of you personally, or most of you I don't know personally, if I get called into a lawsuit or have to go to court because one of you guys does something creepy, we're just nipping that in the bud right now. No asking for people's addresses in
I'm
the chat.
looking at you, Doug Waite.
I feel like I shouldn't even have to say that if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah. Christopher Palmer, I remember a few years ago getting a BP's lunch with Ty Liam J. What a great meal. Why are you laughing?
Look at Lance's comment.
Tyler shit.
No, I have that fucking family of squirrels that's living under there still.
Maybe Lance runs a squirrel army.
Don't be creepy. I live in Tyler's shit.
We did have a great lunch though with Christopher Palmer.
We did. That was awesome. Ryan Spokowski, you asked for my address, Tyler. Totally different context.
You won a prize.
You won stuff. That's good. I'm not going to whatever.
What were you saying just before that?
Sullivan?
Yeah, Sullivan got fired.
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to Boston. I think that team is probably... It just feels like New York. And I mean, like, that Panarin stuff that came out is obviously stupid. Terrible news.
Oh, yeah. That's very, very bad.
And
Also,
just,
I feel like...
covered it up.
Yeah.
Kept it very hush-hush. I just feel like that team needs to do what... As much as, people didn't like what the Bruins did as a Bruins fan, but, at least Sweeney had the balls to be like, I'm going to rip this down right now and help this team win tomorrow. While New York, they were just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I would go to Boston. New York could actually be extremely low on my list of available jobs right now. What's available? New York, Boston, Anaheim.
Anaheim might be Quenneville. Seattle. That's dead last. Why would you want to coach that team?
Yeah, that would be a tough one.
Islanders is apparently going to be available. Sounds like Patrick Wahl's not coming back.
Okay.
Sounds like Rick Tocchet's not going back in Van.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, obviously.
Pittsburgh. You said Chicago. We said
did
both
say
New York
Chicago.
teams.
So there's 8.
There's 8. There's a board. Oh,
there we go.
thank you. Thank you,
that's
Pat.
a good one.
Boston, New York, Philly, Chicago, Anaheim, Seattle, Pittsburgh.
Philly, interesting one. Okay, Where would last be?
Seattle. Dude, that team is so directionless.
I was just going to say the Islanders. At least you have the goalie. I'll go Seattle. Okay, I'm going to go Seattle, Vancouver. I would not want to coach that. I think Rutherford's a moron.
Yeah, I think the ownership's a head case too. So I won't totally disagree with that. Philly, I have at number 3 just because I think you're going to go there and be mediocre for a couple of years. And when they're finally ready to be good, you're going to get fired.
Okay, I would have... That's a good point.
So I'll put Philly
in 3. I thought you'd taken it away from me then. Islanders.
Yeah.
Did I say it? Yeah, those are my 3.
There's 4, yeah.
I would have the Rangers, honestly, would be really low on my list. Then Philly would be, what's that? 5.
Yeah.
Anaheim, Pittsburgh, Anaheim.
It was very disjointed.
Boston.
Okay.
But I feel like I missed one. Oh, Chicago.
Chicago seems relatively appetizing.
They got a lot of prospects. Obviously, Bouchard being one. You have a high-end pick again this year. Probably top 3, I think, right?
Also living in Chicago.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. That would be my rankings off the top of my head. Pittsburgh is an interesting one because on one hand, you have like Crosby, Malkin, blah, blah, blah. You could go in there and do what Spencer Carberry did in Washington. They look like what Pittsburgh is now, right? You just need to get into the playoffs next year, and then the year after, the fan base is going to just buy into you. Yeah, that's probably how I would do it. I think Anaheim is a really good job.
Anaheim's a very tempting job because I think there's some spots in the West that might open up in the next few years. But
LA when they blow it up this summer.
That is exactly who I'm looking at because they've blown it in this series. The Edmonton Oilers come all the way back. It's 2-2. Feels so good. Oh, waking up this morning, hungover as hell, voice raspy.
Oh, I got my bender extender stuff.
They work?
Works. I was shocked at how not hungover I was on Saturday.
I should probably have one of those.
That's a good idea.
I need someone to talk to Rick. Oh, you have them up there?
Dave's.
I have enough, dude.
Sick. Do
they taste nice? Oh,
that's fine. That's not a big deal.
No free ads.
We're going suit shopping together tonight.
We are. Is that what's trending?
Yeah, sure. Should we do what's trending to wrap up the show?
Sure.
Listen, I know we haven't talked about hockey now for about 15 minutes, but
whatever.
We're past the 1 hour mark contractually. I don't know. It's kind of a gray area. What's Trending is brought to you by RV Easy. Your motorhome or travel trailer isn't just for getaways. It's a moneymaker on wheels. Most RVs sit parked in the driveway. With RV Easy, you can rent out your motorhome or travel trailer and earn over $20,000 this year. You can buy some playoff tickets with that. Founded, owned, and operated by Canadians, RV Easy takes care of everything, including full insurance coverage provided for every rental. Choose when to rent and set your own pricing. List your RV for free today at RVEasy.com. That's RVEasy. I'm supposed to spell this. RVEZY.com. That's RVEZY.com. RV Easy. Rent your RV. Make money easy.
Just quickly before we continue on, we have 823 people watching right now.
Super duper, everybody.
If you haven't watched our show before, we do this Monday to Friday.
Yep.
And if you want to comment in the chat, you have to be a subscriber.
Yep.
But if you're not subscribing, you just want to watch, that's also cool too. Thank you for watching.
So we usually talk Oilers on the show.
Typically.
Usually goes for an hour every day, but some days if we're feeling extra motivated, we go longer. Mm-hmm. We don't take any commercial breaks. We just do ad reads.
Unless no.
What?
No.
YouTube gives commercials.
Oh, YouTube
but
does.
We have no control.
We have no
People
control over
throw that in there. We do not control that.
Yeah, no, that's not our fault. So, shout out to RV Easy and shout out to all the new people in the chat. If you're hey, I'd love that actually. If you're someone who's watching the show for the first time live right now, comment in the chat.
Yeah, send us your address.
Don't put your address in the chat. But if you're someone who's watching the show for the first time, comment right now. Say, this is my first time watching the show. And if one of you yahoos who I know watches everyday comments, I'll probably think it's kind of funny. What's trending? There is a matchup tonight in Major League Baseball that is one of the best matchups ever. Why'd you do that?
The best matchups ever.
Ever. It's historic.
Like between two teams.
Between two teams, it is a historic matchup.
Tell me why it's historic, and I want to guess.
Dodgers Marlins.
Because it's the furthest points away from each other?
It is the widest payroll gap matchup in MLB history.
This is the game.
$469 million against $69 million. Real David versus Goliath stuff.
I'm surprised the Pirates aren't last.
No, it is the Marlins, who did not spend a dime all offseason.
That should be illegal.
Dodgers open at minus 275 favorites.
So, do the Marlies still have that one guy who was on the team last season, Dela Cruz?
Brian De La Cruz?
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Who's that one guy?
You're thinking of the good De La Cruz,
The
Ellie De La
Cincinnati
Cruz.
Reds.
Yeah. Or
No,
O'Neal Cruz.
They had one.
They do have a Brian De La Cruz who's just not that good. He's fine.
What
Their
about-
best player is Sandy Alcantara, their starter, like workhorse starter, and they're trying to trade him.
What about Marcel Ozuna? Is he still on the Mollies? Yelich?
He was on a Brave. He was a
Gone.
Brave.
No, and Ozuna got that DUI once. Very, all things considered, kind of a funny video. He gets pulled over and he goes, "I'm Ozuna from the Braves," and the cop's like, "Okay, can you get out of the car? You're
Hello,
drunk."
I'm Brian from the police department. I'm assuming his name's Brian.
No, they have the honestly. I don't think I can't name you. Oh, they have the Canadian Otto Lopez.
Oh, Jazz
Chisholm. He's a Yankee.
Torpedo
But he
bat.
was a Miami
He
Marlin.
was a Marlin, yes.
We went to the
We
stadium.
went to a Marlins game.
It was a warehouse.
Jose Fernandez. I'm kidding.
Post your credit card number in the chat if you're new, and the 3 numbers on the back, Chell. I've been watching since January 2024, so just over a year. Rob said never. Okay, no, I watch the show daily, not just live because of work. That's fair.
That's fair.
But you're in
Thank
here today.
you, Drip Ring.
Nope. It's my first nope.
Jacob says
Address.
first timer.
Ryan dropped his address.
No, Jacob was the Mac Miller guy from the
Oh
other
yeah,
day.
that's right. Yeah.
So that's a lie.
First time ish.
Yeah.
We said don't lie.
Did you say something bad?
Me?
Yeah. Why is Mulek putting the Castellanos thing in? Also, we have to end this show.
No, I didn't say. Maybe it was there. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Are we getting canceled?
What
Oh
else
my
is
God, are we
trending?
getting
The
canceled?
NFL draft was this weekend.
Shedeur Sanders just isn't that good of a quarterback.
He's
Okay.
better than Dylan Gabriel or
He is-
Jalen Milrow.
he actually
No,
is.
he's a headache.
I think he's a good quarterback, and I think he's a headache. That is fair. Him falling to the 5th round, kind of crazy. The Browns taking him after already drafting a quarterback, also very Brown-like.
Should the Oilers take that approach with their goaltending?
Draft 2 goalies?
Well, the Browns quarterback room is Watson, Flacco,
Kenny Pickett.
Gabriel, and Shedeur. Should the Oilers just get 7 goalies next year and be like, one of them's got to work?
Yes.
One of these guys is going to be good.
I think he is a good player. I think the hype around him was just too much. If I was the Browns as a team that had already drafted Johnny Manziel in the past, probably wouldn't have been the team to also draft Shedeur Sanders. Also, one other thing I saw, he obviously got prank called.
That was terrible.
Which sucked. But some people were pointing out this happens every year. One guy, I don't know who it was. I'd have to find
Cooper
it.
DeJean got prank called last year.
Yeah, and there's another guy that got prank called 5 times.
Damn.
That's crazy. It sucks that it happens to any of these guys. But I saw people being like, this is racist. It's like, no,
Nope.
it's not. He's just a headache.
I thought it got so blown up. Pete, we're getting
Oh,
so
man.
soft. It's a prank phone call, man.
Yeah.
Someone said... Someone, Weak Box HQ, first timer. I actually don't recognize them. They might be a first timer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe. Well, you would have because you commented. Okay. Should we wrap?
Now you made a good point. Now it just turns into Detroit with a bunch of bad goalies.
Oh, yeah,
Fair
that's a
enough.
good point. Detroit did try that approach. Excellent point by Naeem. Okay, before we wrap up, what are we betting on tonight for our friends at Bet365?
The election.
An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Want to get in on the action? From game props, player props, totals, and money line, you can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champions, and the Stanley Cup champion.
The Prime Minister.
Whatever you bet is never ordinary. Bet365. Download the app. Get in on the game. An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Must be 19 or older.
So there is lines. They were just up, and then I had to sign in, so it went off a second.
For what?
The election.
On Bet365.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
No way.
Yeah, the Liberal Party, minus 200 favorites. Conservative, if you want a bit of value, plus 150. The NDP, plus 6,600.
Where'd you go to see this?
I just typed in.
politics.
Yeah. Liberal majority, minus 200. Liberal minority, plus 350. Conservative minority, plus 500. Conservative majority, plus 900. I think we've got 2 here, folks. If I have to be honest,
No way you're doing this right now.
I'm looking at conservative minority here. If I'm looking for a bit of value, I could see that happening at plus 500. That's a good line. I don't read a lot of politics, But I would look at both those minority numbers for Liberal and Conservative. Plus 350,
Do you
plus 500.
Do you have any
That's good.
same gamers for like certain MPs to win their ridings?
I wish we could do that, but there we go. 45th. No, People's Party of Canada. That's a bit too high for me.
Liberal. I like Liberal minority, bro. Plus 350. The election runs through the east.
I know it's a joke, but yeah, plus 5.
Take Edmonton, Strathcona, NDP paired with Bouchard shots.
Actually, Edmonton, Strathcona, NDP. I'd be looking at Conservative. Strathcona. Different. Strathcona
I'm doing
County.
I'm the anti-Alberta parlay. I have Liberal majority Kings puck line.
Oh boy.
I'm just joking.
Joking. Just while we're here, I'm going to look quickly since we're on the election.
Oh, you can absolutely parlay Oilers money line with this.
Actually?
Sick.
Hell yeah.
Liberal minority Oilers money line plus 867. This is not gambling advice or financial advice.
If you're listening abroad, Bet365 has a few other options for elections around the world.
I saw that.
The Australian election up there.
Yeah.
The Swedish election, Matthias, if you're listening still. UK election and the US election in 2028. So
Stephen A. Smith?
The favorite currently to win the US election in 2028. JD Vance plus 275. I don't see that. I don't see that.
We got to get you in
happening.
front of that map.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith is plus 10,000.
I might take a flyer on all of Stephen A.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson plus 6,000.
Oh, I could see Ivanka Trump.
AOC plus 1,400. It's going to be an interesting one in 4 years.
Oprah Winfrey plus 5,000.
Oprah
Wow, they got
Winfrey.
celebrities everywhere.
What about Whoopi?
Should make the cut.
Okay, we're done.
Go vote. And place your bets over at Bet365.
Thank you to Bet365. Man, today was unhinged. But we're loving life. That's all that matters. We're back tomorrow. We're going to have Louie DeBrusk on again this week. We'll have Dubnik on this week. I think I'm going to have Tyler Ennis on this week because I saw Tyler Ennis' jersey yesterday. I'm like, that's an omen. That's an omen right there. So there you go. That is a wrap on today's edition of the show. Everyone in the chat, you were great. Yes, go do your duty. Go vote. And we'll see you all tomorrow, noon Mountain Time. Oil up.